Hey Sagittarius, Tourmaline Tarot. We're going to do your weekly, see what's going on. So we have Justice. Justice has been like and Judgment too. All about it. So we're looking for balance. We're looking for getting it together. King of Swords. I think you have to make some tough cuts potentially. Eight of Cups. Yeah. It's like, that's not it. Moving away. Like you're hitting a reset button this week. And I don't feel like it's super emotional. I mean, the Eight of Cups, there's like, you hope you can come back to it. Like, you hope you can revisit it. But at the same time, you know, Page of Wands, Hierophant. There could be an opportunity that comes along that's better. That you're just like, okay, well, this is the right thing for me. But that involves kind of, you know, there's the concept of like, if you make a decision about something, then something else becomes no longer an option. And I feel like you've been trying to weigh that out. Like, if this no longer is in my life, well, then what's going to hold the place? Like, you know, you have to kind of feel like, if I take this away, then what goes in it? You know, because you still have the space for it. You have a space for something, but like, what is it, right? So with this King of Swords, what is Sagittarius kind of putting together here? Three of Wands. Yeah, there's that waiting. It's like, if I don't know what I'm going to put in there, you know, in this space I have, I don't feel like you're sweating it too much. I mean, I feel like there is an emotional aspect to it, though. Yeah, with the Ten of Swords, because something's over. So I feel like this is your clutter clear week. Because then, you know, Page of Wands, something kind of comes your way where you're like, Hierophant, what? Commitment? On this is great. Like, I like it. Maybe not necessarily commitment, but, you know, like contracts, etc., opportunity. Something that is, you know, something to build on. You know, actually, I'm not going to take that run because that was too much. But we'll look anyway. So we have Temperance, King of Cups, Seven of Cups reversed, and Queen of Wands. Yeah, you want the confusion to end so you can kind of pick something out, because then you have the Ten of Pentacles. Because I was trying to figure out what Justice was about. I think you're just trying to figure out what, I keep saying, what goes in that space. Like, you know, like when you're trying to buy furniture or something, it's like, you can get a couch, but like, it's not going to be the right couch. Like, it's not going to be the right thing. And then like, every time you go in that room, you're going to be like, oh my God, I hate this couch. Like, there's just, you don't want to put something in it and then it be the wrong thing, you know? And I don't mean like in it, you know what I mean? So you have the Hermit. There you go. There's just some work that is asking, the universe is asking you to do on your part. There's something that's like, come on. Because Justice, for me, that's like, the decision is still in your hands. Once you hit Judgment, it's like, whoa, no. Universe is taking the wheel now. So then you have Three of Cups. This could have something to do in terms of relationships, with friends, how like your friend group, like, what is it about? So I'm not saying you have false friends or, you know, someone is just in it for a good time, but you could kind of weigh who's actually there. Like, when stuff throws down, who's like your 3 a.m. friend? Who's the person you could call? And I'm sure you're probably way more considerate than calling someone at 3 a.m. But let's see, Three of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. You know, in some ways, I think you can just enjoy what you have while you're waiting for this stuff to kind of come along, because Seven of Pentacles is a waiting, Three of Wands is a waiting card. Ten of Swords is kind of like a pullback, like, you know, but it's done at the same time. So what did, yeah, Sag, more stepping into the Queen of Pentacles energy, which is like a very grounded, like maternal, you know, she's, and I'm saying she's, but the concept of like being very nurturing and grounded. And I feel like, you know, you're just kind of keeping it close for the time being. Because what is this opportunity coming in? Ooh. I'm not taking it because it came out funky, but Wheel of Fortune, Four of Cups, Queen of Cups. you're kind of letting the disappointment or letting the feelings you have kind of ebb. The Wheel of Fortune is going to take care of it. It's going to clear it out because you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups, there's always an emotional aspect to it for me where it's like you do feel a certain way about it. You hope you can come back around, but at the same time, you're not really killing yourself to do that. And with the Eight of Cups, sometimes I think of that person walking away as the hermit, being like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go figure this out on my own. And strength. There's also an element with strength that I find interesting, that it's also not giving to situations the strength to withdraw and not feed things or amp things up. I feel like that's important to say. And the Hanged Man. I feel like you have a big switch because there's, you know, this is a pretty strong bunch of majors. Hierophant, Strength, Hanged Man. And I'm sighing because I'm a Sag and I'm like, oh, I gotta rethink everything. Oh, I just did that. So, Hanged Man, what is this new perspective? Two of Pentacles. Keeping things balanced, keeping things chill. This Queen of Pentacles, what are you bringing to the table? Eight of Wands. Yeah, I feel like, if anything, there could be a last-ditch communication before this Eight of Cups. Like, you know, it's not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure, but you give one last shot. There's one last shot. It's like, here's your window, and you're not going to tell someone it's their window, but I don't know if they'll take it. Because 10 of Pentacles, Emperor, 8 of Pentacles. I almost think they feel like they have it on lockdown anyway. Like, I'm getting kind of a taken for granted energy where you're just like, uh-huh, and I will be here until I am not. So, yeah, I'm not saying you're being a jerk, but you're also like, actions are going to speak louder than words. And I'm going to give you one more shot to show me these actions because I've been waiting on this. But I'm kind of coming around to this being done thing, taking my power back in a particular way, kind of feeling myself again. And if that's not what it is, well then I'm scooching. I'm 8 of Cups in. To get my balance back because I have a lot to think about. So we have the Book, which is knowledge and knowing. We have the Star, which is, you know, the wish fulfillment stuff. But you're also kind of changing the way things have been. You know, the train track is good, and that's keeping on track and everything, but it's also can sometimes be not necessarily a rut, but there's like, you know, a train can't go anywhere else than the tracks, and if it derails, that's bad. And Sagittarius is like, well, you know, I have to make my own tracks. I would rather be traveling by car because then I can go on whatever road I want. I don't have to do this track thing. So you are switching something up that gets you going in a different direction. And it's what you want, but at the same time, like I said, there's this closing out. Like, what's filling the space now? So what is this over here? We have the House and the Fox. You're not being dumb about it because foxes are smart. They know how to hunt. And when it comes to your stability in your house, you're also not just going to like throw the baby out with the bathwater. You're going to be like, okay, well, what does this all mean? So with the Swords, the Clouds, the Garden, and the Person, there is kind of a little bit of a fight. And it might be a little internal because the Clouds can sometimes just be, you know, it's the way forward is not completely known. But with the Garden, there's an element of kind of having to put yourself out there, putting the feelers out there. And I know that maybe is where the Strength card's coming in because I'm like, you want me to do what? So what happens if Sag finally kind of like puts themselves out there? Yeah, I feel like you got to toughen up a little bit because, you know, this is, the tree is strength, longevity, it's health, it's etc. The heart is something obviously you want, and the mama bear energy. This can be a work card too, so you might focus more on work in the meantime with that Two of Pentacles. And kind of just leave any kind of relationship stuff in the dust for a little bit. Because you're just like, listen, You know, we did done that. And then there's the lilies. So there's something that hasn't fully panned out yet. The universe hasn't showed its full hand because it's asking you to reset yourself, and then you can kind of cross paths again. But it's asking you to kind of be like, what have you been doing the same way? What is your status quo? What is your like go-to thing? Like, do you make the same thing every night for dinner? Like all that kind of stuff. Like there's a shakeup that's needed from an old way, and you're not going about it like crazy energy kind of stuff, but people really think that they have the finger on the pulse of Sag, when really it's like, no, your heart beats to a different drummer. And it's like, no, that's not even the rhythm. It's not even close. And you know that on some way. But now you're trying to figure out how what you want fits into the things you have, and it might require some cutting off of some things, some evolution, some change here. It requires you to be strong and do things the right way that's for you. So, all right, Sag, that's what I have, and I'll talk to you later.